What's going on? It's Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Catching the public transportation, as you can see, over to the office today. Just went and parked my car, and I actually just let it charge up overnight for free. So that's pretty awesome. I'm very, very thankful for that. And on top of that, being down here in the city majority of the time, that means that I don't have to worry about always having to drive everywhere, which is really, really important to me specifically. So I'm thankful for that. But what I really want to talk about is not related to relationships. It's not related to, well, it's kind of sort of related to finances and money in a general sense, but I'm appreciative. I just want to start this off by saying that I am very, very thankful. When I woke up this morning, the first thing that was on my mind this morning was how thankful and appreciative that I am. And living in the city, you get to experience all worlds, right? Usually when people are out in the suburbs, they kind of siloed, meaning that they kind of get stuck into their own little mindset, their own little world, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I find that being disconnected often at times can give you a false sense of reality. Meaning that because you don't really have the understanding of what's happening out here in the streets, you're not aware of what people are going through, you then get disconnected and you start believing that you only see things one way, right? Last night after I left the office, I drove the Porsche and then I went and parked it. And then, you know what I'm saying, I let it charge overnight or whatever. And then, instead of taking an Uber, since the weather really wasn't that bad and it was kind of straight, and I kind of wanted to take some detours, and I had that, you know, that ooh-wop shebang on me, so I was feeling cool. Police was everywhere, city was straight. So what I did was, hey,
My bad.
you don't see me talking, man?
No, I ain't see you.
Okay, I'm talking.
All right, baby.
I decided that I wanted to go and do a little bit of exploring, right? So I jumped on a scooter and I went riding around in the city and I went hanging around and stuff like that. And I had an opportunity to see when some of the businesses closed for the night, you know, the little storefronts and stuff like that. So not necessarily this street, but like if you see any of these buildings or whatever and they got the storefronts, or, you know, you got the churches on the steps and stuff. In the downtown area, because that's the areas that have the most resources, and the public work buildings and all of that stuff, right? And the social services. What'll happen is you'll start to see homeless people in what their normal, when they don't go to the shelters, their normal way of life. And then over here in Detroit, I know that we had a program specifically a couple years ago where they would give them coats that also doubled as like really, really thick sleeping bags. And so in the summertime, you would see homeless people sometimes, especially, you know, somebody like me that always is a part of the city and walk around and stuff like that. You would see them with these coats, but they actually doubled as sleeping bags and stuff. And then they got to protect their shoes to make sure that their shoes don't get stolen and all of that stuff, right? But you'll see homeless people sometimes in the little crevices, in the little cubbies. And that's why when it gets really, really cold outside, I'm very, very thankful and I'm very, very mindful and keenly aware to make sure that I participate a little bit more. Maybe I'll go and donate a little bit more. Maybe I'll go and you know what I'm saying, give a little bit more money or whatever. And I don't like to nowadays talk about the things that you do for people, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you show it, then it's like, oh my God, they trying to get, you know what I'm saying? It's just too much. A lot of times you just kind of got to go with the ebbs and flows of social media. But I make sure that I also pray, because it's just like, God, it's just blistering cold. And I just can't imagine being on the streets at that time. And a lot of times we like to have this out of sight, out of mind mentality when it comes to other people, because it doesn't affect us. And I do believe that to an extent you have to kind of sort of detach and mind your business in order not to get sad or to not be emotionally distraught all the time because of the circumstances that you see people going through. And in some situations, some of it is self-inflicted, you know what I'm saying? But the streets is the streets, and the streets will absolutely swallow you up. More importantly, taking those type of detours, and then going back to the space that I'm going to go to. You know, we criticize each other a lot when it comes to basic everyday things. You know what I'm saying? People criticize each other for not owning a house, or your house not being big enough, or what kind of car you drive. Let me tell you something, bro. In reality, it's a lot of people suffering out here. It's a lot of people that can't even come up with money if in an emergency. And when I've done a lot of volunteer work back in the day, what I found was that the majority of the people that were homeless, are not the people that was on drugs and stuff like that. It was normal, everyday families that was one situation, one circumstance, and one payment, or one financial mishap, or layoff, or furlough, or hospital bill, or whatever, from losing everything because they were treading on the edge. Now, again, I know that some of these things are self-inflicted wounds, but some of it isn't. And we just need to be mindful of that. More importantly, be thankful. And we need to treat each other how we want to be treated and live our lives, you know, accordingly, because it could absolutely affect our mindset and our disposition towards our fellow man. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that it's a reality check sometimes. I mean, to be in the cold and the dark, and to have no resources and try to figure out exactly what your next move is, but at the same time just trying to survive for that day. Meanwhile, we over here and we got, you know, all of our functions, and our mind is right, and, you know, we got opportunity in our hands and our feet, and we sitting here complaining. And that don't mean that we need to absolve our politicians and stuff like that from doing the right thing, but we be out here complaining and whining about, you know what I'm saying, what somebody ain't doing for us, or what our circumstance is. It's like the more we get, the more we complain. Conversely, me, I'm just thankful. Every day, the first thing that I do after I brush my teeth, wash my hands, I get on my knees, I pray to God, and I lead with being thankful, because I am. Yo, man, we wasn't supposed to make it according to the statistics. They was telling me that I wasn't gonna live to be 18, I wasn't gonna live to be 21. I'm 41 years old, and that's why every single day I live it like it's my last, because I feel like I won. You know what I'm saying? I won. It's almost like everything else is extra. Everything else is money on the board. I'm not worried about nothing. I don't subject myself to the mindset of the world, because I'm playing with house money right now. You know what I'm saying? And to see the shit that we've been able to accomplish, and the heights that we've been able to accomplish, and the places that we've been able to go, man, I am blessed. You will never ever see me complain. I work a lot, I grind a lot, and, you know, a lot of people keep telling you to slow down for fucking what? I'm leaving it all on the flow. I sleep when I die, and that don't mean that I'm not getting rest, but I sleep when I die. Every minute that I'm awake, I'm gonna make the most of it, because there's somebody else that'll beg, that'll die, that yearn to be in your that you know what I'm saying, to be in your position. They yearning to have your life. They yearning to have your opportunity. They yearning to have your hand that you was dealt. And we sitting here complaining and whining about what somebody else ain't doing for us, or what our circumstances is, when 99% of our issues is self-inflicted wounds. That life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react to it. A lot of people even ask me a question. I jump on these. I'm actually waiting on mine to go the other way. I see it down there. A lot of people ask me, and they say, Anton, why is it so easy for you to be able to vlog and talk and not worry about what people think about you and stuff like that? Because I don't care about what people think. I'm winning. And when you winning, you make the rules. I make the rules of what's going on. And so all I'm going to do is keep being thankful, keep being situationally aware, running it up, and then living my life to the fullest. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm about to get on this joint and then head to the office. And then we got the Millionaire Morning Show. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace, man.